Hello, everyone. This is going to be the InfraGard editorial for February 1st, 2011. We've got William H. Murray with us, and Bill is going to be discussing the outsider threat and the insider risk. I get that right, Bill?
Yes.
Okay, take it away.
There continues to be confusion between outsider threat and insider risk. We see far more threat activity from outsiders. However, even when successful, these attacks have limited impact. If they become public, they may damage the brand, but they rarely threaten the health or continuity of the enterprise. Most of the damage by insiders is the result of errors and omissions. While these impact the efficiency of the enterprise, the loss is often accepted as a cost of doing business and without other notice. However, unauthorized activity by insiders, while rare, has been known to bring down the enterprise. The inability to detect and correct errors on a timely basis creates an environment of temptation. History suggests that many insider frauds had their roots in undetected errors. The worker commits an error, nothing happens. She repeats the error. Again, nothing happens. The worker finally concludes that if she can make an error and nothing happens, perhaps she could make it in the direction of her own benefit. However, we are dependent upon insiders and insider controls to protect us from the outsider. While it is fun to address the clever hacker, the most successful outsider attacks involve social engineering, that is, fraud and deceit. Outsiders find that suborning insiders is always an efficient attack, and they are likely to engage in it before attempting more expensive attacks. Insider motives include greed, need, and anger. Their attacks depend upon motive. Those motivated by need or greed want to keep their activity secret so that they can repeat it with impunity. The disgruntled employee wants us to know that we have been damaged. He will repeat and escalate his attacks until we feel the pain. Incidentally, we have no instances where a happy, well-adjusted employee went home on Tuesday and came in on Wednesday morning and took the place apart. The disaffection grew over an extended period of time. When an incident occurs, management almost always knows exactly where to look for the perpetrator. They knew about the anger, but addressing it was just too difficult. Most insiders do what management expects most of the time. And when they fail to do so, it is far more likely to be a failure on management's part to correctly communicate the expectation than it is to be a failure of motive or intent on the part of the employee. On the other hand, again, history suggests that both need and anger increase in times such as these. Insiders become more vulnerable to increasing exogenous pressures. Personal integrity is not a constant. It's often a function of need. Well, given this analysis, what controls should we rely on? Management supervision is the most effective control, but it is also so expensive that alternative controls may be more efficient. These include vetting new hires, training and cross-training, job rotation, mandatory vacations, separation of duties, recognition and compensation, and timely corrective action. Applications should be designed to make it easy to do the right thing and difficult to do the wrong thing. They should make it easy to detect and correct errors early. They should include tight input checking, user feedback, and out-of-band confirmations. Incidentally, one of the favorite attacks against our systems that are internet-facing is the SQL injection attack. And this attack results from a failure to do tight input parameter checking. Duties should be assigned in such a way that one person, just by performing her assigned duties, without doing anything extraordinary or heroic, acts as a control upon others. Another effective control is to be certain that everyone is told that they are to report to their management and to security or audit any unusual activity that they see. People should be compensated, at least in part, on the amount of economic discretion that they exercise. One of the reasons that we see so much corruption in government is that for political reasons, people are systematically underpaid, particularly with regard to the economic discretion that they exercise. Now, I had been teaching personnel controls for a number of years before I added please and thank you to the list. Please and thank you are among the most effective and efficient controls available to us. Disgruntled employees almost universally share the feeling that their contribution to the enterprise has not been fully appreciated by management. While we often think of termination as the ultimate disciplinary action, we often fail to consider all of the alternative controls, all of the alternative discipline that is available to us. Alternatives such as reprimands, reassignments, and even docking of pay. When we resort to termination, it must be complete and timely. An incredible amount of damage is done by employees serving out their 2 weeks' notice. To be most effective, controls over insiders must be built into the culture of the enterprise. Leadership must set a high ethical tone from the top. I'll never forget the client who, when I asked him about the ethical culture in his enterprise, responded with, "Behave as though your mother was watching." As information security professionals, we have limited ability to influence this culture, but we must play the role of mother. That is why we are called professionals and are paid the big bucks. See you next week.
Thanks, Bill. Certainly appreciate it.